Hi there and welcome to Hell. My name is Trevor and this is Luke, and we are bringing you the latest English podcast regarding St. Pauli live, recorded live anyway, from Hamburg, talking about all things St. Pauli and reviewing the last game, looking forward to the game ahead, but then also chat shit, basically. In a nutshell, what it is all about. So, did you enjoy the game, Luke?
I did, very much so.
Which aspects? The social aspect or the actual game?
All of it, really. The match was great. Atmosphere was great. Good performance as well. The only disappointing thing really is only coming away with a point. I think we could have got all three. Huh?
Yeah, we won't go into too much detail right now, but the first half we looked good, right? It's the first part of the second half, 15-20 minutes. We had that typical stumble where it's like, oh shit, shell-shocked, what's going on? It's as if like the opposition manager just all of a sudden turned a magic key, completely unpicked our entire tactics, and we were on the back foot for a solid 15-20 minutes.
Yeah, I think it was because he changed formation at half-time.
Right.
I think they went to a back four, but then we matched up with a back four as well and did a midfield diamond. And the triple sub that Timo Schultz made was brilliant to change the game. Was it Otto, Metcalfe and Igor? Yeah, changed the game.
Yeah, it's genius, right? I think we can call it that because then all of a sudden we were on the front foot. We managed to get something from it, but then we just kept coming. And there was a spring in our step. There was a desire to go win the game. It wasn't just sitting back and sitting so deep for large spells of the game, just inviting them on. But, I think, as you've said previously, especially against HSV and the better teams, we do well in those scenarios. So maybe that's what the game plan was in this case.
And the good news is that was it 3 games left before the World Cup? Düsseldorf, Kiel, and Karlsruhe, and they're all pretty attacking teams. So I might be in for some wins on the road at long last.
No, we're not. Yeah, we've still not won on the road. It's like that Arminia Bielefeld, and before that's Eintracht Braunschweig, where we've been playing against lesser opposition, if you will, and been turned around. But we're still undefeated in 9 games, I think it is now, at home, which is pretty solid. Too many draws, of course, but there's 9 games now. And the last team to beat us, do you know who it was?
No.
Darmstadt in April.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's the last time we lost at home against Darmstadt in April, which is crazy. So I was using that because I was commentating on the game. You were at the game, having a good time, and I was working. Then I realised, shit, the last time we've lost was against Darmstadt. Please don't let that be the case again. So yeah, we did well.
Yeah, as you said, there's too many draws at home, really, especially draws that we deserve to win. But it was a good performance, so can't really fault anyone. And there are a few players who have come in for some criticism recently who performed really well, namely Amanido and Daschner up front. Again, there were a lot of missed opportunities, but I thought their all-round play was very good.
Yeah, they both looked sharp. Amanido's so unlucky. I don't know how he's not scoring. He's creating chances and he's getting shots away, but it's always straight at the keeper or just hit the corner flag and everything in between, but not in the goal. So it'll come. It has to come. Man. He looks sharp when he gets on the ball. Like there's that instant on the right-hand side where he ran down the channel. I think Eric Smith just pumped it long, right? And he got into the channel, took on the fullback, threw his legs, and the just fluidity of the skill and the control of the ball where he just flicked it back with his heel, created some space for himself, and got the shot away. Oh man, it's magic. That's what we want to see from Amanido, not high balls up and hoping he can control it. Get outnumbered by defenders, right?
That little passage of play was brilliant. It was so good. The control, he beat 2 men and got the shot away, and it was a good block by the defender. And then he had a header which went straight at the keeper. But he set up Jackson Irvine's chance when he went through one-on-one with the keeper. Remember, he did that like little flick around the corner.
That's good awareness too, because Jackson Irvine had tons of space, and I think normally we'd expect Amido to bring that in, take too many touches and stuff. But this was one of the only times I think I've ever seen him play it first time, and he threads Jackson Irvine through beautifully. Obviously, it didn't have the desired end result, but if it's on Jackson Irvine's head, we'd be 1-0 up at that point. But anyway, so going into this match, what were your expectations?
Well, I guess now would be a good time I did a little voice recording in the stands before the match, so I'll drop that in now.
Take it away.
So the sound you just heard there was the crowd going mad for the goalkeepers coming out to warm up. We're just under an hour until kickoff, I think it is. The stadium's slowly filling up. It's a nice night in Hamburg, under the lights against team top of the table. What could possibly go wrong? There's a massive tifo in the south stand that looks like it's ready to go. Be interesting to see what that is. But yeah, other than that, just getting some beers in and hoping for 3 points. All right, check in on you at halftime.
So yeah, don't know, can't even remember what I said there, but yeah, there was.
I'm sure it's insightful and beautiful. It's just a drunken slur of football.
Well, I do remember I mentioned the tifo in the south stand, and I posted a photo of that on Twitter. If you want to go have a look, it was celebrating 20 years of Ultra St. Pauli. It was really cool.
It's awesome. It's huge, like the entire
massive
stand. Right?
Yeah.
Where'd you get that printed? Like just logistically, just being boring here. Where do you go and ask for someone to print that?
That's a very, very good question. I have
How
no
much
idea.
material, like square footage? Oh man, like it just gets my mind going in terms of what effort goes into designing the fucking thing for starters, which would be awesome. Just credit to whoever designed that, pat on the back. But then actually making that and delivering it and be like, right, everybody, we're going to do this. We're going to block your view for a certain period of time. Hope that's okay. Just take a fucking corner and shut up.
So I think you might be the only person who looks at that tifo and thinks of the logistics behind it.
Well, I'm a product manager. I work about problem solving and stuff, right? So I want to know how it works. That's my go-to. I'm a computing scientist by trade. So yeah, I guess.
No, there would be a lot of very committed fans behind that.
I mean, please tell me. I want to know, because that's the amount of effort and resources that go into that is insane. So it's commendable. It's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway,
yeah. So that first half, then, I thought we were really good, creating chances. Oh, so we should mention we stuck with the three at the back with Eric Smith, flanked by Svigala and Faslihi. And they did great. We were creating good opportunities.
Faslihi was on fire in the first half. I thought it's probably the best game he's ever played for us. He was completely controlled. He's reading the ball well. Some of his passing forward was good. So, like the threaded ball throughs for Pakarada and Verhatl. He's reading the play. A couple got cut out, but at least it wasn't in the back line area. It was quite high up the pitch. What did you think? Am I imagining things, or was Faslihi?
The only thing I really remember is him nearly scoring an own goal after about 2 minutes. So.
That's a defensive header, mate. It didn't even count as a shot on goal because it hit the crossbar. So get your facts right. If
he meant that, then that's peak central defensive play.
That's precision defensive header. But that's very nervous early on. But Fastil, he had it covered, man. Like no stress, no drama.
He didn't cover himself in glory this much either. He had a couple of nervy moments.
Yeah.
But I still think he's lent some stability to a backline after the horror show that was Smarsh at the start of the year.
So I think that the defence is pretty much until Nemeth and Medic get back.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, whichever one of those is coming back first, I'm not sure. I guess it'd be Nemeth. They would go in for Svigala right now, do you think, or for Tzlihi?
I think they'd go in for Svigala.
Okay.
Because he can get caught out early. And Nemeth is pretty good in the air, so I could see that.
Fair enough. Yeah, I think I agree with that. And then in front of them we had Mr. Afiz. I don't know what that guy's been drinking lately, but his passing is insane. Like his long ball pinpoint passes to chest or to feet. It's just incredible. Is that new? Has he been doing that last year?
No, he got criticised last year for his work on the ball. Passing was never his strong suit, you know.
Yeah, he's breaking the play up, right, and then just short passes and then leaving it to somebody else to do the rest of the dirty work. But some of his passes are just gobsmacking.
Yeah, he's developed that part of his game really well. He looks like a completely different player. And they really struggled to deal with him, especially in that first half.
Physically too, he almost got in a fight with that Manu guy. I think he's squaring up with this Manu guy, absolute pain in the ass. He rubbed me the wrong way, to say the least. And I think he's squaring up to somebody else. And Afi's like, no, you're not. I just like interjected and backed his man up. So it's good to see that camaraderie within the team, that they've got each other's backs.
Yeah, definitely. But it did mean that pushes Jackson Irvine a bit further up the field.
Yeah.
And he's probably better in the sixth position, because whenever Timo Schultz made those changes and brought on the triple substitution that we talked about earlier, he went back into a double six, and you could just see that's quite clearly his best position.
Yeah.
And then we saw in the first half why maybe going forward isn't the strongest point after that missed opportunity one-on-one with the keeper.
Yeah, I mean, it's the attacking intent to get there. I mean, he could have squared that Daschner. It had taken quite an incisive pass to do that, but he was completely right to shoot. But maybe not square the keeper next time.
I think it's one of those ones, that cliche. I think he almost had too much time on the ball there. Like, he was just at the run of the pitch, and the keeper came out and smothered it.
Did well. He closed the angles very quickly. The keeper was out very quickly and made himself big. And he blocked it with his legs. I think Jackson Irvine was going for between his legs or something. I'm not sure, but the keeper came out quickly and did his job well and made it harder for Jackson Irvine. Fair enough, he could have still scored, but the keeper did everything he could to make it harder for him. So then,
oh yeah, definitely. But at halftime, you were thinking, "Oh, here we go again, another match where we're dominating and we're creating chances, but just can't get on the score sheet."
Well, Afiz had that absolute blistering strike as well, if you remember. It stung the palms of the keeper from 20 yards out or so. That's a good effort as well. But yeah, as you say, plenty of the ball, creating chances. We seemed a bit indecisive in the final third still, right? It seems to be that kind of, all right, we're here now, and it's the most important part of the pitch. Like, it takes some effort to get to the final third, but the final third is where it requires that kind of click. It requires a bit more organisation, a bit more, creativity. I said that already. I don't know. It's very creative to say creativity twice, right? to unlock the opposition's defence. Previously, we've been crossing it in for Daschner or Amanida, which doesn't work. But we saw Amanida and Daschner can both run at defences and unlock them themselves. But we just seem to be lacking that key to unlock them at the moment. So it'll come.
Yeah, and I think we're better against in matches like today against a good team like Darmstadt.
Yeah.
They don't sit back with a deep block. That's whenever we really struggle. A lot of our chances came in those transitionary moments, which I think is really suits Daschner and Amanido, and that's why they both played a lot better today than from what we've seen previously.
Well, I mean, you said about thoughts at half time, so let's see what Luke's thinking at half time, shall we?
Yeah, I'll drop that in here.
It's half time. Scores 0-0. It's been a good first half, actually. Yeah, really good first half. Couple of big chances, notably Jacko going through one-on-one with a goalkeeper and just took one touch too many, and keeper saved it. It was a huge opportunity, but now we're looking good. A bit concerned about their height. You know, the striker's fucking massive. They've got a couple of other 6'2" plus players in there, so I think if they get the ball down the wing and start putting in crosses, we could be in trouble. But overall, very good game. Again, since Darmstadt are a good team, I think that sort of plays into our hands a little bit. You know, where all our opportunities are coming through, you know, transitional moments where we'll win the ball higher up the pitch and be able to create something out of that. So hopefully we have a couple more chances in the second half. Just don't know who the fuck's going to score it. Amanido's had a couple of half chances, same for Daschner. Hotel had a shot. But yeah, it's a good match, doing well. Just need to, you know, get one of those final moments. That last pass or last shot on goal is just lacking a little bit, but I'm confident we're doing well, doing very well. Right, check in on you soon.
There we go. So that was half time. I think it was just before I queued up for what felt like half an hour to get another beer.
Yeah, what was that queuing system? Because you messaged me before the game started, you were still in the queue. And you sent a picture, and there's 2 beers you had, so I guess you were like double barreling in preparation.
Yeah, I've not making the mistake of only buying one again.
Yeah.
So you'll miss half the fucking match. I don't know why. It seems to be getting worse as well.
More people drinking beer, or just fewer people selling beer, or
I don't know. Good question. There used to be guys with like a beer backpack thing who would walk up and down the stands with and sell beer, which was perfect. I don't know what happened to those boys, because they were a godsend.
They still have them at Frankfurt. I went to the Frankfurt Champions League game a few weeks back, and they still have them there. So maybe St. Pauli just need to renew the contract or something. I don't know. I guess it's a third party or something, or whatever.
But yeah. So half time, just got a couple of beers in, and then prepared for after that first half. I was thinking, oh fuck, here comes the inevitable. We'll concede a shitty goal from a set piece or something, because there were some absolute units in their team as well. There were fucking 3 or 4 like over 6'3" players. And did you notice at the very start of the match they put one of their defenders up top? I don't know his name, but he was fucking massive, and he's a centre back, I think. Yeah, and he just interesting. And they put him in the front line just to try and like lump balls up to him, but it didn't really work. But that had me terrified, because if one of them pulls on to Svigala, then you would favour them, because the fella that they put up front he's one of the best players in the air in the entire division.
That's interesting. That's a crazy tactic, right? Like taking advantage of the defensive frailties early on. Because Svigala's not the greatest in the air. Fetzley, he's okay, and Eric Smith isn't a defender, but still reasonable in the air. You know what? We're going to lump this ball up to this fella, and hope that he gets a flick on, because Tietz was quite quiet. He didn't have many chances throughout the game.
Actually, we should mention that, because their entire front line were really kept quiet. And Manu's a good player as well.
Yeah,
he didn't really have a lot to. Yeah, and then their goal was just an absolute wonder strike.
Wow. Yeah, you don't see those kind of goals very often, but that was sweet. Yes, we could have cut it out early or something, or a couple of errors that led up to it, but the execution on that, like the double step over, flicks it out to his stronger foot, and it just buries it in the far corner. Like, Fastil had no chance. That's a thing of beauty.
Yeah, I like the actual strike was just perfect. Keeper could have done nothing. You could maybe say that it could have been stopped a bit earlier, like was it Jackson Irvine who was backing off, and then
went over to meet him, and then was just backing off into his own area, and then Zeliakas came to support him.
That's right.
And then neither of them tackled him.
Yeah, but that's what Ronstadt did really well, is he chose the moment to, shift the ball onto his right foot just as Zeliakas was coming in, and there was a bit of confusion about who was going to go to the ball and who was going to back off, and before you knew it, it was in the back of the net.
It's I mean, you hate conceding goals, but when they're like that, it's just like, fine, fair enough, man. What can you do? That's a, well done. Well done, Mr. Ronstadt. But yeah.
And it was at that stage you're just thinking, fuck, here we go again.
Yeah.
We're gonna get no reward for yeah. Yeah. No, you're just thinking that like it's just gonna be another good performance, and everyone's like, oh, there's some promising signs, but still came away with nothing. But the mentality of the team was great, the way they fought back. The heads didn't drop. And
it was not long after, so it's 5, 6, 7, 8 minutes later that, as you mentioned earlier, Schultz had his masterstroke. Yeah,
that triple sub.
Yeah.
And it's good to know that we have that ability, to change it up mid-game, and you can see it worked perfectly.
We've just kept everything the same. And
especially in the last match, wasn't it? We were moaning because most of the subs didn't come till after the 80th minute.
That's right, exactly. Yeah. See, maybe Schultz does listen.
Yeah, no, it's good to see them being a little bit more proactive, because it also leading up to that, they were getting a lot more into the game, so something had to be done. And not only was the formation, but the lads who came in were class. You got to mention Connor Metcalfe again. Yes. He such an impact off the bench.
It's like it's just the awareness to know that, because that looked intentional. I guess you've seen it again because it happened so quickly. But I didn't realise at first, but he's kind of touched it onto Daschner, right? Just seen that Daschner.
Oh, the assist for the goal.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
It's completely intentional. It's a very intelligent play to know, right, okay, I can try and squirm this into the goal myself, or I can touch it back and Daschner is completely unmarked. So it's well worked. As you said, Metcalfe coming on, high energy, high intensity, but displaying that level of football intelligence was right on what we needed.
Yeah, it was class, because he was like off balance whenever the ball came into the box, so it would have been very difficult to get anything on target from that position.
Well, exactly, that's what I mean. He could have tried to get it himself, right? Coming on, scoring a goal, the hero all of a sudden, but he had that mindset of, okay, Daschner is in a better position. I'm in a better position myself to be able to lay it off to him than to try and get a shot on target myself. So no, it's taking one for the team is very good.
Very well worked goal, that one, and thoroughly deserved.
Well, you'd have to say in the build up to Pacarada was involved, Hadley was involved. It is down that left hand side, that left hand magic kind of thing that we've not been missing too much, but not seen as much of over this season compared to last season. But it was more of that, please, basically.
And Paca was brilliant again. He's just such a stalwart at left back. He's always given at least a 7 out of 10 performance. Yeah. It might even be man of the match. I don't know if officially he got the man of the match award, but he definitely would have been up there.
Yeah, I mean,
he had a stormer.
I think since he came back from injury, he's been even better, right? I don't know what it is, but before he went away injured for a few games, he was kind of maybe a bit tired or disenchanted, I'm not sure. But he's come back and he's just been a man possessed, and he's
It might have also it might have coincided with the change of formation. You know, now he's playing wing back, so he can bomb on and get higher up the pitch.
Well, that goal came from when he was playing left back, not left wing back, right? Because it's 4-4-2
Oh, yeah.
at that point.
Of course, yeah.
So,
Good point.
based on that theory,
That's that theory out the window. Yeah.
there you go. Luke bringing the theories get smashed within seconds.
And David Otto did really well whenever he came on, and gives us a different dimension because he's
slower than I thought.
Yeah, he's a bit of a unit. You know, he's a big lad.
Yeah, but I remember he's closed down by a defender a couple of occasions. He's come from behind, even though Otto is in space, and just poking away from his own. Fair enough. Otto's slow. There you go. I didn't realise.
But that means that Matanović has really dropped down in the pecking order. We haven't seen him in ages.
He's fifth choice now, then, based on that. Because, in fact, Micheal came on as well.
Yeah, true.
Sixth choice.
Wow.
But I guess, it goes in ebbs and flows at the moment because none of them are really locked in as the goal scorer right now. So Matanović had his stint starting, then he had a stint on the bench. Now he's having a stint of not getting any game time. So I guess it's just blowing that cycle for a moment until Schultz has finished tweaking and testing and trying to find some little fucking score, basically.
Well, whenever we get a striker in January, he's really going to struggle for minutes.
He's on loan from Frankfurt, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so maybe just send it back. So many purpose.
That's brutal, man. Jesus Christ.
If he's sixth choice striker, he's probably getting paid way more than the other strikers as a 19-year-old. And if he's not doing on the pitch, we can use that budget to sign somebody who will. If he's on a Frankfurt salary.
Yeah, fair enough.
I don't know if we're paying all of it, of course, but I'd certainly be looking at the financials right now, be like, okay, so what's in the market that we can get for a Matanović salary? And do we have a clause in his contract that can be axed? If he ups his game in the next there's 3 more games to convince otherwise. But it really is. I would seriously be considering that right now.
It's not looking good for him, is it?
No, would you thinking about it now?
Well, it really depends on, as you said, the contract and whether or not there's a clause in there. It might have to be agreed with all parties involved, St. Pauli, Frankfurt, and the player himself, as to whether or not. Because I'm sure he's not happy sitting on the bench. No. But then he's not going to go to Frankfurt and get game time. So
they'll loan him out to somebody else, who will then play against us and score a hat trick, right? So
yeah,
fuck. Yeah, all right. I don't know, man. I'm sure they're considering that the St. Pauli management team don't seem to be too naive in this sense.
Sure.
In terms of the result, happy chappy, or as you said, could have gone off the win?
I think I'm more satisfied with the performance than the result. I think we could have and should have won that match. Like, if you check the XG, it was pushing 3 XG to their 1.3 or something, which pretty much says it all. And we did create chances. It wasn't just, possession and passing it about aimlessly. We had 22 shots. And this is against a team that's top of the table. So
yes, of course.
Performance was great. But converting chances, again, is the overarching problem. Because if we didn't get that equaliser, we would have been sitting here. We could have just reposted the podcast from any of the other weeks where we had a million chances and didn't take them.
Well, I'm just looking at Arminia Bielefeld, bottom of the table. So it says loss, win, loss, loss, loss. Do you know who the win came against?
Oh God, I don't know. Fucking stop it, man.
Yeah, right. So
Jesus.
It's depressing to look at sometimes. But anyway, it's not looking too great for us. Like Greuther Fürth in 16th possession, 13 points, 14 games played, of course. And St. Pauli are 2 points ahead, just. So
we are so much better than our league position.
Yeah.
Like, I mean,
it's just finding that spark or something that converts those millions of chances into an extra goal or two. That's all we need.
Yeah, if you look at the underlying stats, like we have the stats of a team that should be in the top 5, not languishing down in 13th. So hopefully we sort of revert to or start getting living up to those stats and get those expected goals turn into actual goals would be nice.
Well, there's obviously the winter break coming up, so 3 more games as you said, and then it's a 2.5 month break. It's a huge break, obviously, because of the World Cup, and I don't think the season restarts until the 25th or something of January. So it's a huge break. So we need to be quick to sign somebody, and then we've got 2.5 months to integrate them into the team. Right? We don't want to be leaving it to the last minute. The sooner we do business, then the longer it is to integrate them, get them involved in the training drills, etc.
When we don't need a squad overhaul, we just need
No.
1 or 2 players.
A defender and maybe an attacker. Job done.
Definitely a striker, that's for sure.
Yeah. Goal scorer, not striker. We've got enough strikers. We need a goal scorer, please.
And so next up, we are away to Düsseldorf. Are you commentating on that?
Yes, it's my last one this year, and I'm moving house, so I was out of action for a bit. But it's my last one for this year. Looking forward to it. Hoping, obviously, for a win. I mean, Düsseldorf aren't doing too bad. They're in 6th position right now, but they're only 8 points ahead of us. But their form's not too shabby. It's 3 wins in the last 5.
Oh, before we get stuck into Düsseldorf, I should drop in the voice note I did of leaving the stadium. I got some. I always feel like an arsehole doing this. I got some really strange looks off of people as well, and maybe I should find a quiet corner in the stadium to do it, because you might even hear at the end of this. I'm not sure if it's included, but some guy looking at me like I have fucking 2 heads, doing a match report into my phone while walking out of the stadium. But I told him about the podcast, so if you're listening, you might hear yourself.
All right, cool. Take it away.
Well, that's it. Full time. Finishes 1 each after they go ahead. They make it 1-0. I think it was Manu who scored it with a really nice finish, to be fair. But some questionable defending. They sort of countered us and we got back slow. It was just disappointing, but the reaction was really good, to be fair. Schultz made 3 changes. He brought on Otto, Metcalfe, and someone else. Escapes me right now, but that made all the difference. Really, the game fucking changed at that point. We always looked like scoring once they came on the pitch, and then Daschner got the all-important goal. So yeah, points are shared, which is probably fair. But a good performance.
All right, there we are. That was I was just walking out of the Millerntor on the way to the Jolly Roger. Oh, and once I got to the Jolly Roger, actually, I sitting down having a beer, and 2 Scottish lads came up and sat down beside me, and one of them was like, "You know what? Your voice is really familiar." And I was like, "No way, couldn't be. He couldn't be one of our 10 listeners, could he?" And he was like, do you do the Welcome to Hell podcast?" So big shout out to Micheal from Glasgow. That made my night, honestly.
Micheal, very cool.
Yeah, so Düsseldorf away. I'll be going to that one, actually. Should be fun.
You going to that? Oh, wow, good man. What's making you hit the road?
I don't know. Just because there's not going to be any St. Pauli matches over the World Cup, obviously, so I'm trying to get as much in as possible, get my fix. Düsseldorf isn't too far away. I've got mates down there.
Cool.
I got a pal from Belgium who's a big St. Pauli fan. He'll be travelling to Düsseldorf with a few of his mates, so have a reunion with him. Should be good crack.
Wow, that sounds great. Good man. Have fun.
What do you think in terms of score?
Yeah, I think it's going to be 1-1. We just can't win on the road at the moment. We're not going to fix it before Christmas, I don't think, until we get that striker goal scorer dilemma sorted. So I'll take a draw, to be honest. I don't know if there's any other teams that have such bad away form right now, but looking at the table, we've got 2 points on the road out of 7. Only Arminia Bielefeld, who are rock bottom of the table, have fared worse, but they've still got 2 points out of 8 games.
2 points out of 7 games.
Yeah, it's 21.
Oh.
2 out of 21 points we've got. Whereas, I mean, if you look at Dusseldorf's home form, they've won 4 out of 6 so far this season and lost 1. So I'm thinking a draw would be reasonable.
I'm a bit more optimistic. I just think that we've been playing some decent football. It's patchy though, is the thing. We can't really seem to have a good run of 3 or 4 games. There's always some shitty performance in there, like Bielefeld. But Hasval, the derby match was good. Freiburg performance was good. An absolute stinker in Bielefeld, but then bounced back with a great performance against Darmstadt. So if we can keep that get a bit of consistency going, I think we might actually get our first away win. I think I'll go 3-1.
I think you're mad. Well, I mean, I hope so for you, for your sake, since you're travelling down there, it's the occasion and stuff. Don't get me wrong, I'd love to win, but looking at those form charts, and I mean, at the end of the day, it's, again, football, anything can happen, right? But looking at those stats and the form and all that kind of crap, it's a mountain climb. It's a big ask, but why not? Let's do it if we can. Mm-hmm. Happy days. I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh, we didn't draw. We only won. Ooh. So let's take it.
We desperately need points though, so I'll take a win in whatever way we can get it. Honestly, and we also need to start figuring out how to win away from home. So hopefully it starts against Dusseldorf. Well, it's not as good. It's a difficult place to go though, so we'll see. It'll require a really good performance, but it's something that we're capable of, definitely.
Are there any target men to keep an eye out for that we need to be wary of?
For Dusseldorf? For
Dusseldorf, yeah. Their striker's doing all right so far this season. So Kovnacki, David Kovnacki's got 6 goals and 3 assists. So he seems pretty handy. And then Appelkamp as well. He's got 4 goals. But other than that, I haven't looked through their squad. There's nobody that jumps out as a huge threat. Are you familiar with them too much or?
No, not really. I see, and I've done fuck all prep for this because I was at a Halloween party last night. Also, why the voice is a bit rough.
I haven't looked either.
Good. Same boat then.
Yeah, so no, I was just looking through the names and stuff, see if I recognised anybody, but it seems like it's quite, just a standard Zweites Bundesliga team, right? But we should be beating them on paper.
Yeah, all right, fingers crossed. Also, everybody needs to keep an eye out. We might have a very special guest on the podcast very soon. Don't want to reveal too much, but yeah.
Do I know?
You should do.
All right, okay, fair enough.
We'll chat after.
All right, cool. All right, absolute pleasure as always, Luke. Take care. Safe trip down to Dusseldorf, and man.
Cheers, man.
Get the 3 points, please.
Take it easy. Thanks for listening, everyone.
Yeah, share, tell your mum, whatever it takes. Increase our listenage so we get more Micheals from Glasgow bumping on into Luke and the Jolly Roger. That'd be awesome.
Exactly. All right. Good to chat to you, Trev. Talk to you all next week.
Bye.